What's up, YouTube? We need to talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo is becoming extremely underrated. I've been seeing a lot of discourse, specifically on Twitter, some Instagram, a little bit of TikTok. It's just getting outrageous in my opinion. I think this mostly started throughout this whole playoff run. We didn't really get to see much of Giannis. He was injured throughout that whole Pacers series, and even Damian Lillard was. I think Damian Lillard only played 2 or 3 games in that series. Just an awful season for the Bucks. Back-to-back years where Giannis gets injured and they end up losing the series in round 1. Just super unfortunate, but I think this is causing a lot of people to forget how good Giannis is. I mean, we saw incredible performances from Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Joel Embiid throughout this playoffs. I think those are the 3 main people that are kind of... I've been seeing some people rank SGA and Embiid over Giannis. It's cool if you have Luka. Me personally, the big 3 in the NBA right now is Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. But I know a lot of people are putting Luka Doncic over Giannis now that Luka has made an NBA Finals. I don't agree. Giannis is a champion. He's a Defensive Player of the Year. He's an NBA Finals MVP. I just don't think you can put a guy who just made the Finals. He didn't even win the Finals. He just made the Finals, and I don't think you can put him over a guy who's... I mean, I still think Giannis is... He's closer, in my opinion, to being better than Nikola Jokic is than Luka is to being better than Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just think the defensive, difference between Luka Doncic and Giannis Antetokounmpo is just too big to pass on. It's too big to put Luka Doncic over Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm a Luka fan, and I will tell you that, Giannis is better than him. And I've even been seeing some people say Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's my favorite player in the league. If you guys don't know, I'm a Celtics fan. To have Jason Tatum over Giannis Antetokounmpo is just ridiculous in my opinion. And I'm a defender of Jason Tatum. I will defend Jason Tatum with my life. But I'll tell you, he's not better than Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just think he's becoming extremely, extremely, extremely underrated. This is a guy that averaged 30 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. Like, those are not numbers you can just gloss over. You cannot gloss over 30 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists. You just cannot do that. And that's what people seem to be doing. I just think it's the playoff, after 2021, after he won that NBA Finals versus the Phoenix Suns, I just think people, we haven't got to see Giannis in the playoffs too much. We did see 2022 where they played against the Boston Celtics, where the Boston Celtics did win. I think they beat them in the second round. And then they played the Miami Heat to go to the NBA Finals. I could be wrong about that. I'm not too good with, history, and I just have a bad memory. But I think I'm right. I could be wrong, though. So don't take my word on it. But after 2021, kind of 2022-ish, Giannis hasn't done much. Like I said, he was injured last year where they lost to the Miami Heat in round 1, and he was injured this year where they lost to the Indiana Pacers in round 1. The Bucks just have not been lucky, but I think if they're able to, stay healthy, I think Giannis is in for an MVP year. I mean, he probably could have won MVP last year if the Bucks were winning and, they didn't fire their coach mid-year. It was just a bad season overall. And the main reason why the only reason why I wouldn't be too confident in the Milwaukee Bucks next season is because Doc Rivers is their head coach. I'm not a big fan of Doc Rivers. I think they should look to replace him. But I don't know. Doc Rivers does not have a good history of, winning in the playoffs after, that Boston Celtics super team. But yeah, I think the Bucks, I think they could have a really good regular season, and in the playoffs, you have Giannis and Dame on your team, so I'm not sure how much having Doc Rivers is really going to matter. But I got to say, I like what the Milwaukee Bucks have done this offseason, drafting A.J. Johnson and Tyler Smith. I'm more of a fan of the Tyler Smith pick. I think he can come in right away and make an impact. This is a guy who extremely athletic, and he can be a stretch four, in my opinion. I think he's the perfect player to have around Giannis. A.J. Johnson, like I said in a previous video, I think A.J. Johnson was a potential pick. I think he drafted him off of potential. I believe he's only 19 years old. Super raw player. But other than that, they signed Gary Trent Jr. in the offseason, DeLon Wright, and Taurean Prince. This is a team who came in with, limited cap. You can't really do much when I don't know if they're a second apron team yet, but just having Giannis and Damian Lillard on the team, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, this is an expensive team. And to go out and get guys that, in my opinion, can make an impact for you, I think it's a W. I really do think it's a W. Gary Trent Jr. is a guy I like a lot. He's played with Damian Lillard already. Hold on, let me turn down this light. This is very bright. It kind of distracted me. But this is a guy that has played with Damian Lillard already in Portland. Gary Trent Jr., I like him a lot. Didn't have, too good of seasons in Toronto, but I think if he can get back to that Portland, Gary Trent Jr., I think that's a huge W for the Milwaukee Bucks. Even his Toronto play wasn't, it's still productive. I believe it's like 15 points per game. Didn't shoot the ball as well as he did in Portland, I believe. And then DeLon Wright, I think this is a guy, he's an NBA journeyman, but everywhere he goes, I feel like he makes a positive impact. He's just a very, solid role player. And then Taurean Prince, I've always liked him a lot. I know the Lakers, kind of shit on him a little bit. I don't know. But Lakers, they were putting him in starting lineups. In my opinion, he's not a starter. Like, this is a guy who should be like your 8th or 9th man. The Lakers were not utilizing him in that way. But honestly, from what I've seen when I watch Laker games, this guy was still solid. Like, Taurean Prince does his job. But I just want to go back to, 2021 Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis put up probably one of the greatest closeout games we've ever seen in an NBA Finals, putting up 50 points. 50 points against the Phoenix Suns and closing out that series. Like, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put my MVP pick on Giannis this year. Maybe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There's a lot of good talent in the league, but I know a lot of people are saying Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid. But honestly, my two picks for MVP next year is Giannis Antetokounmpo and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think they're going to have a lot of team success. I think they'll be the 1 seed again this year. But I think he might, put up even more better numbers. Adding Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, Oklahoma City is just scary. But like I said, I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about the Bucks. I already talked about their young core, but MarJon Beauchamp, I think he's a guy who I really like a lot. This is another guy that can develop. My problem with the Milwaukee Bucks has always been their depth, but I really like their draft and I like their offseason in general so far. So I think they honestly solved their depth issue. Like I said, Tyler Smith, a guy who I think can make an impact. MarJon Beauchamp, I think he's only going to get better. Gary Trent Jr., amazing signing. DeLon Wright and Taurean Prince. I just really like their depth going forward. This is a team where I haven't really liked their depth the last 2 to 3 years. But I think they, honestly, I think they solved that. I really do think they solved that. But I just wanted to come on here and say that Giannis is being criminally underrated. Let me know if you guys want me to drop, an NBA player rankings video. That's something that interests me. If that's something that interests you, I can make that video for you guys. I think it'll be an interesting one because my rankings might be a little bit different than a lot of people's. I just value players that have performed at the biggest stage, and Giannis is a guy who put out 50 points in a closeout game to close out the Phoenix Suns in the 2021 NBA Finals. So let's not forget about Giannis. Let's not forget about how great he is. This is the best player in the world or the second best player in the world. I think him and Jokic for me might be 1A, 1B, honestly. Giannis, special player. He's amazing. That's all I wanted to come on here and say, though. Let me know what you guys think about Giannis being underrated. Maybe you guys think he's overrated. I don't know. If you think he's overrated, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. He's not. But that'll do it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you guys are new, make sure you guys drop that subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.